Summary of Chapter 4, Conversations with God, Book 1. Chapter 4 of Conversations with God explores the fundamental nature of human existence, emphasizing that we are created in the image and likeness of God. Because God is the ultimate creator, we too possess the ability to create our own reality. Our lives are not dictated by external forces, but are instead shaped by our thoughts, words, and actions. At the core of this chapter is the understanding that we exist as a trinity: mind, body, and spirit, much like the concept of Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. These three aspects of our being work together in the process of creation. Every manifestation in our lives follows a structured process. It begins with thought, is reinforced through spoken word, and is finally realized through action. Simply thinking about something creates at one level, but when that thought is spoken, its power increases. When thought, word, and deed align, the creation becomes a fully realized in the physical world.
A crucial aspect of creation is belief. It is impossible to truly create something without complete faith in its possibility. Hoping for something is not enough. Rather, one must know with absolute certainty that it is already coming into being. This deep faith is what gives creation its power. A key practice in this process is gratitude, not after something has been manifested, but before. Expressing thankfulness in advance demonstrates the certainty that what is being created has already come into existence. This form of gratitude is not only encouraged, but is a sign of mastery. Another vital lesson in this chapter is the importance of fully owning and accepting one's creation. Everything that appears in life, whether perceived as good or bad, is a result of one's own creative power. To reject any part of it is to reject a part of oneself. Instead of condemning unwanted circumstances, one should recognize them, bless them, and if necessary, choose again. The ability to think a new thought, speak a new word, and take a new action allows for the creation of a different reality. Ultimately, this chapter teaches that living as a conscious creator is the key to mastering life. By fully embracing our divine nature and using our creative power with intention, we align with God's will and bring divine expression into our everyday existence. In doing so, we not only shape our own lives, but also inspire others to follow the same path. Demonstrating how to manifest heaven on earth. This chapter for me I feel like a lot of different books talk about this. Specifically, Neville Goddard talks a lot about the law of assumption, assuming something has already happened and being grateful for it is the best way to manifest things, or maybe I should even say the only way to manifest things. And so this chapter is basically like a reiteration of the law of assumption, assuming it's already happened.
Yeah, reiteration is the exact word that I jotted down as I was thinking of, how I'd respond to this. It's, as we've looked at other chapters, we hear a lot of that same message coming back to us, and, the process of creation, gratitude, ultimately finding something to be grateful for every day, finding multiple somethings because they absolutely exist out there, and knowing that through that process, if we're not practicing living in gratitude, we're out there creating in opposition of that. We're always creating. And, I know I've spent many years creating, and definitely many opportunities there. From just the perspective of just being grateful.
Yeah, and this chapter 2 talks about like a new thought, speak a new word, and take a new action. So that to me is saying just make changes, right? In a positive direction, even if they're really small, right? Think a new thought when you wake up in the morning. Think a new thought right before you go to bed. Think a new thought or react a different way. Speak a new word so you're not talking bad about other people or talking bad about yourself, having your internal dialogue be more positive, and then taking a different action, even if it's something as simple as when you go for a walk, like right outside your house, take a left versus taking a right, and just create those new neural pathways whenever any chance that you get. So that way it is changing you as a person and reprogramming the subconscious mind, which we talked a little bit about in chapter 2. Since we talked a little bit about in chapter 3.
Yeah, no argument. I mean, ultimately, every night I think we're hit with, I know me personally, hit with everything that's occurred throughout the day, and you have a choice as to what to consume and where your thoughts can take you, and ultimately being able to change those thoughts. In fact, I think we started in another Neil Donald Walsh book, the other day, when everything changes, change everything. So I think it's that same thought process around just stepping out of what feels normal, what feels like you're normal, and altering it to an extent so that you can move forward in a more positive way.
Speaking back to the gratitude piece of this, it is such a good practice to do gratitude every day, whether it's in the morning or at nighttime, always, whenever you're in the alpha brainwave state. So whether it's in the morning, right after you wake up, or right before you go to bed. And right before you go to bed is great, because then your subconscious, basically it's on repeat for like the next 8 hours or however long you sleep. And the idea here is to write your gratitude. I am so grateful now that I have blank. You haven't seen it come into the physical form yet. And then because a feeling that creates for you. So, for instance, I am so grateful now that I have a $2 million book deal, because it makes me feel financially free. And the key here is to truly feel that feeling. So this isn't just writing down gratitude. It is actually feeling the feeling of the wish fulfilled of whatever you are trying to manifest into your life.
Well, and actually carry that forward into one or more forms of intention throughout the day. How you plan to carry that forward. I mean, the how, I think, is not always important as far as what your how that $2 million book deal is going to come about. But I think having intention throughout your day, and the things that will guide you towards that, I think is pretty important as well. And that was chapter 4.